have some conversations about that. And Ashwini, since our audience has some different kind of age groups and backgrounds, so first of all I want you to give a brief information about that and tell us in easy words that what is actually happening between Iran and Israel.
Yes. So basically, you guys must be seeing in the newspapers that there's a lot of conflict going around the globe, and one of the conflict which is going as of now is the in the West Asia between Israel, USA, and Iran. And due to that, you might be aware of that the rises in LPG gases is visible. It is actually rise with the 60%, 60 rupees, sorry. And if the conflict will escalate much more, then definitely the prices will surge much higher. So before I speak about this crisis, I want to give a brief information about Iran, because the country which is having right now a conflict, we should know about that. So Iran, which is in ancient time known as Persia, so in 632 CE, after the death of Prophet Muhammad, there was a conflict between people that who will be the leader. So in that age, actually people wanted to have a selected leader for who will be the prophet in their country, and one group of the people wanted that the prophet should be from the family of the Prophet Muhammad. So they were having so much conflict, and which led to the creation of two groups, Shia and Sunni. You guys must be aware of that. In Muslim, there is two groups, Shia and Sunni, and in Iran, most of the groups you will find a Shia Muslim there, and there's always conflict going around between Shia and Sunni. And Israel is one of the country which rises in 19th century, and Iran actually opposed that they never actually wanted to acknowledge that Israel is a country, because there was a lot of conflict, because they actually invaded in Hamas area and captured that area at that time. So from there onward, there's a lots of conflict going around Middle East area, and that is one of the reason actually due to that is this war is escalating between these countries.
Okay. So my second question is that many critics believe that US interventions in the Middle East have increased instability in the region. So do you think that argument is valid in current situation?
There is a conflict between multiple analysts. Like some are in the support of that US act as a global police, because sometime you see that in Libya they invaded and actually completely eradicated the government there, and same case occurred in Iran. Saddam Hussein was the leader of that country. They also assassinated him. So some way people are actually thinking that this is what USA does is not right, but there is a opposite analysis of that too, because USA also think that they are the global leader, and at the same time it's their responsibility to eradicate the terrorism, and at this they actually also not want multiple nations to have a nuclear weapon, because they might use it in a wrong way. If and same thing is happening with Israel. Actually, Israel is the ally of USA, and they are in a fear that if Iran will have a nuclear weapon, they might become a sole leader of that area. That's why they don't want Iran to actually develop any nuclear weapons. So there is a contrast analysis over if US is being the supreme leader of the world or not. So we have to actually see the both perspective, the leadership perspective, at the same time the invasion perspective. So
Okay.
yes.
And many people hear that oil prices is rising, and I want to ask you that how does war between that affects the inflation, and also can you briefly explain that what the term Strait of Hormuz is?
Yes. So, Strait of Hormuz is a narrow passage between Oman and Iran. It actually connect Persian Gulf with the Arabian nation, and through that there is shipping vessels come and go. And what was your question initially?
Actually, how can a war influence the inflation?
Yeah. So if you talk about the inflation, definitely most of the oil reserve in the West Asia in Arabian nations. So if war is escalating between the countries, it will definitely have an impact on the oil prices and LPG gases. As you can see, there is already prices surge of oil product. So if actually what is happening is that Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz. Through that there's lots of trades used to occur, and it is actually not impacting only India, but the at a global level it is impacting all the nations, because major trade routes actually happen from that strait. So in order to eliminate this inflation, definitely there should be a talk between nations, and that is the only way I find. And for India, they can actually find a different nation from where they can actually have more trades. Like as of now, USA given a grant to India that they can import oils from Russia. So that those are the things that government can do.
Yeah, and many of our audiences may not be aware of Strait of Hormuz, which is the very important way where many countries are importing oil. So can you describe about that in brief?
I actually discuss about that. That Strait of Hormuz is a narrow passage between two countries, Oman and Iran, and due to the war, it actually get closed by Iran. And there are military as of now implanted in those areas. That any vessel, right? One of the news actually today came in the Hindu that one of the vessel was coming from Qatar to India, Gujarat, that their military actually target that vessel, and three people got killed in that. So that's where actually Strait of Hormuz lies.
Okay, and India maintains a stable relationship with Iran, Israel, and also at the same time with USA. So how does India manage this diplomatic relations with them?
Basically, India doesn't follow any ideology. They have a strategic autonomy. From early time, when there was only two powers, Russia and USA, two global giants, which wanted to have influence over all the countries around the globe. In those time, India actually followed non-alignment movement. They don't wanted to have a relation with just with one country. They wanted to have a strategic autonomy, that they want to have a good relation with all the countries, which will benefit the India in certain ways. So for Iran, there is definitely relation with the Iran. India actually developed a Chabhar port there. At the same time, with Russia, we have lots of trades for weapons, and same with USA. Like USA, lots of product actually get also imported from USA. So India follow strategic autonomy. They don't just want to rely on one block.
Okay. And today, world is facing several geopolitical tensions, and such as Russia-Ukraine war, tensions between China and Taiwan, and the current Iran and Israel war. So, do you think the risk of larger global conflict is increasing?
As we can see that there's lots of conflict around the globe. One is Russia, Ukraine, and currently in West Asia, and other one is also there is also stress over Strait of Taiwan, because China is intended to actually capture Taiwan in maybe future. So definitely there's lots of tensions if we see around the globe, because earlier if we see there was two major power, USA and the second one is Russia before the Cold War. But now if we see around the globe, there is a multipolar world. It is becoming multipolar world because China is an emerging economy. They are having a lots of power and the influence of China is increasing. So there's a definitely we can say that in future there will be lots of regional conflict rather than saying that global conflict. Like world war is unlikely to happen, but there will be a regional conflict for sure.
Okay. And how do conflicts around the world, lead to higher inflation in many countries?